Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is your tropical update for September 15th. We're currently watching Tropical Storm Fiona, which used to be Tropical Depression 7, located over the central Atlantic Ocean, making its way towards the northern Leeward Islands where tropical storm watches and warnings are in effect. Later, moving on to Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, the Virgin Islands, and Bahamas, not in that order. We're going to begin today with the impact map. Slight impacts possible throughout the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, northern Hispaniola, and portions of Bermuda, or the Bahamas, rather. Mainly for those winds in the upper tropical storm forest area, as well as rainfall. Rainfall is also going to be a big concern. We could see isolated amounts to a foot, as well as 4 to 8 inches across much of the area there in yellow. We could also see 4 to 8 inches in the areas in green. That low area also going to be experiencing tropical storm forest winds throughout much of the northern half of the Lesser Antilles, British Virgin Islands, the rest of the Dominican Republic, portions of Haiti, as well as some of the southern Bahamas. And then outside of that, extraneous impacts, a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind here and there. Here's how Fiona looks right now. You can see the island of Barbados there in the bottom left-hand corner. Not a huge concern to Barbados exclusively, but it just shows you it's making its way towards the Leeward Islands. As we can see today, again, not an amazing presentation, but it is a tropical storm, and it does look like a tropical storm. It's going to be making its way towards those islands, like I mentioned, and a aircraft is en route right now to gain more information on this storm. As we can see from the cone and the time of arrival winds, we're looking at tropical storm force winds beginning around Friday morning at the earliest along the Leeward Islands. We could see impacts to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands likely sometime Saturday, and then Hispaniola sometime late Saturday into Sunday is when we'd see impacts there. And as we head into Sunday and Monday, impacts could begin to the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas, but may take a little bit more time. We'll see exactly what happens. Those areas in blue are where the tropical storm warning is in effect. The areas in yellow are the tropical storm watches. As of right now, the max winds are 50 miles an hour. This thing not going to go crazy with the winds, at least isn't expected to, as we can see here on the next slide. It's expected to gradually increase, but not do much more outside of that. It's not going to ramp up to Cat 3 before hitting Puerto Rico. That's not what's going to happen. It might become a Category 1 hurricane at some point, but probably not within the next 3 days when it's near Puerto Rico. 4 days from now, a hurricane gets to be more in the field of possibility with this storm. And the good news is that, at least according to the dynamical models shown here, it goes south of Puerto Rico, kind of splits the gap between Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, taking the center to the north side of the Dominican Republic, and then near the southern Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, in that area, and then moving out to sea. Generally, that is the consensus at this point. However, a lot can change, and there is still a decent amount of variability, as we see from the European ensembles. There's still a push towards the Bahamas, towards Cuba, rather than going out to sea. And so we'll see what exactly becomes of Fiona as we move on with time. Again, as the stronger it gets, it seems that the strength in moving to the north are in line with one another. As we see from the GFS ensembles, almost all have a stronger storm, eventually developing into a Category 2 or 3 hurricane, making its way towards Bermuda even, and sparing much of the Bahamas from impacts. And then that's currently the consensus of most of the dynamical models, as well as the Hurricane Center, about the middle of the pack here in terms of where they have Fiona heading over the next 5 days. Note that this map shows through the next 7. And so we'll just continue to monitor it. Again, these areas getting affected by Fiona are not, are used to seeing hurricanes. They aren't, too scared about a tropical storm or a Cat 1 hurricane. But still, it's important. Winds and rain are devastating, regardless of how prepared or how used to you are of the storm. We'll continue to monitor it. And if it does decide to take the European solution and make a run at Florida, we'll keep an eye on that. So we'll continue to update you guys here every afternoon. That's all for now. Grace Dixon of Weather Catholic Media.